Welcome to Get the Balance Right, a podcast for female entrepreneurs looking for a quirky spin on business. I'm your host, Heather Zeitzwolf, CPA and profitability coach. I'm a longtime vegan, Gen Xer, cat mom, drag queen enthusiast, and collector of weird dolls and lunchboxes. If you want kick-ass information that includes zany commentary and a dab of woo-woo, then you've come to the right place. I want to help you build a business based on your passion and authentic voice. Are you ready to take control of your finances so you can earn, keep, and grow the money you deserve? If you're a solo entrepreneur that isn't afraid to do things scrappy, then roll up your sleeves and let's get the balance right. Hello and welcome to Get the Balance Right podcast. I am your host, Heather Zeitzwolf. On today's show, our guest is Danielle LaFleur. She is the founder of Easy as Pie Design, and she has over 25 years of experience in web design and marketing. Oh my God, this was such a fun interview. It went a little long, but it is just chock full of nuggets of wisdom and goodness that you are going to want to listen all the way to the end. So this is part of my series about authenticity. So it's stepping into your authenticity. I was going to try to come up with a better title for that, but because authenticity is just so overused, but it's an appropriate word, so I don't know what else to do. So I don't know if you've caught me on Instagram, but I've been going live for 45 days in a row on Instagram. Well, I haven't gone 45 days yet. I'm going to be going live 45 days in a row. I just had, yesterday was day 15, so I'm in it. Yes. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, I talked about my adventures so far. The guest before was Elaine Williams, and we were talking about short form video and really stepping into your authenticity with video, and it really inspired me. And I was just like, man, I need to do this. And so we're going to be having some really great guests for this authenticity series. I'm super excited. So next week, I've already done the interview, and it's with Terry Levine, and we talk about VIP days. Please don't miss that one. Oh my God, it is so good. So good. I left our conversation just like walking on sunshine. I was just like, oh my God, she was just amazing. Well, Danielle LaFleur is amazing too. You're going to really enjoy this interview, I think. We talk about how authenticity is so important when you are doing marketing, but it's not about me as the owner of the company. It's really about serving authentically to our clients because they are the heroes and we are the guides. That's part of the whole story brand thing. We dive into that also on this podcast. There's a lot of just really good nuggets. So strap in, strap on. No, not strap on. We don't want to be strapping on anything. Put on your seatbelts and get ready for a wonderful ride. I was going to say bumpy, but this is not a bumpy ride. This is a really good ride. All right. And if you want to go live with me on Instagram, slide into my DM and let's do it. I'm looking for people to go live with me. And last plug, if you want to join my Get the Balance Right Facebook group, please do. Find me on Facebook, hit me up, say, I want to join, and let's do it. Make it happen. I'm going to be hosting more and more free workshops. So be sure to check that every once in a while and see what things might be coming up. All right, here we go. Here is my discussion about authenticity in marketing with the very smart and highly educated Danielle LaFleur. Danielle LaFleur, welcome to Get the Balance Right podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, unless we show the video for this, people can't see how fabulous you look. You've got the jewels. Are those rhinestones? What are those?
Yeah, they're total fake rhinestones. Amazon, costume jewelry.
It's beautiful, though. Who cares if it's diamonds or fake stuff? Who cares?
Nobody cares.
It's just about it looking fabulous. And you've got the hair and the makeup. You just look great. Oh, my God.
Like I was telling you earlier, I showered, so I feel like I'm super prepared.
So, Danielle, I discovered you through LinkedIn or whatever, and you knew some people that I knew, whatever. But like what we do, we like find somebody on the internet. I did a little Nancy Drew on you, and turns out you have like all these cool things going on, like Mike McAllowitz, like Pumpkin Plan and Fix This Next, and then you're a marketer and you got Story Brand and then Six Sigma, Lean, and all this. Wow. Like, where did all this stuff come from? What is your background?
You know what? That's a great question. I just love to learn. Like I have a really hard time being stagnant. That's why I do what I do. That's why I design websites, because I want to do something different. And so I love college. I love learning. I love growing. I don't actually care about the end, like little piece of paper. I just want to know more things. And so that's where it comes from. I'm not going to say I get bored, but I'm fascinated by learning something else and growing. So that's where it all kind of comes from. It's just this constant process of, ooh, what can I learn now? I'm literally in 2 classes right now. So I love learning. I love it.
Well, that's very cool. Well, I'm sort of in the same boat. So some people might say that that's like shiny object syndrome.
Yes.
But
yes.
but I don't really think it's a shiny object. I think of it more like I just love to learn. And so it's like a new thing to learn. And like maybe it's a piece of software, maybe it's a book, maybe it's a certificate. I love that you are a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You mentioned designing websites. You have a company that's got the most adorable name, Easy as Pie Design. That is adorable.
Thank you. When we started, I kid you not, this name started with 2 glasses of wine and like 3 scoops of ice cream with a girlfriend. And that's how we came about the name. I was going through a really hard time. I was over at my girlfriend's house. I'm crying like, whoa, you know, those moments, right? And so we were talking and she was talking about how great she did at a conference. And she said she had a Facebook page. And I'm like, well, she owns a couple businesses, very, very lucrative businesses. And I said, well, how much traffic do you get online? And she's like, oh, I don't even have a website. And I'm like, wait, and we talked about her market. She wanted to increase her market growth in the county from 28% to 32%. And I was like, well, people are going to come from your website. Like that's an avenue to kind of take over. And she's like, it has to be easy. Like it has to be easy as pie. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's the name of the company. We did her website that night, got her up and running. And in 2 months, she hit her target.
Wow. Yeah, you got to have a website. I mean, you can't just rely on social media because we know that they go down, then you're kind of screwed. So easy as pie. Okay. So pie, I love pie. That's probably one of my favorite desserts, but it's not easy to make. No. I don't even know where this term easy as pie comes from. Do you know where it comes from?
I think it's some kind of country thing. I don't know where it comes from either. I have no idea. I just know that it seems to be, everybody knows it. Like, it's easy as pie. It's just easy to remember. You don't have to figure out how to spell anything. It's simple, all that other kind of stuff. As far as where the saying came from, that is a good question. And that feels like a blog post to me. I think that sounds like an inbound marketing thing I got to go write. So I have no clue. I have no idea. Probably somewhere like a middle ages Europe or something. So yeah.
Yes. At some point in time when pie was easy to make and probably like let them eat cake, like it was like all about just like batter or something and dough or something.
Yeah.
So I got inquisitive minds have to ask, what is your favorite slice of pie?
I love boysenberry.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Pie, but I love all pie. No lie. Like if it has carbs in it, I'm in. Like, so any kind of pie, I will eat all the pie. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah.
I love strawberry rhubarb pie.
It's so good.
Let's get on to the actual topic. So you have so many things going on that I just absolutely love. I mean, I could ask you about Story Brand, Lean, like so many things. But I'm doing this series on authenticity. When we think of authenticity in our brand, we think about like me as the business owner kind of like showing the world my authenticity. But really, they don't really care that much about that. What they want to know is, how do you solve my problems? And how do we work that authenticity in there? You had some great ideas. So
that authenticity and the personal branding and authenticity and all these kind of keywords that are coming out, and some of them are overused, as we've talked before, and some of them aren't, and trying to find out replacement words. But at the end of the day, authenticity is being settled in who you are, so you don't have to showcase. You literally speak the truth. And so that is really what I feel like on authentic, when it comes to authenticity, that's really, really important, especially when it comes into your marketing. And there's so many different ways to show your authority and your authenticity in your marketing where it's not about you. There are literally like 5 key components, 5 key pillar content pieces that people can write that will help with that authenticity. And so a lot of that comes into pricing. Like this morning, I did a live on LinkedIn about pricing and how to design the website page for pricing to create that trust with you and your potential client. So cost and pricing is a big way to build authenticity because you're being authentic. Hey, here's our pricing. And this is the value that you get out of that.
Let's talk about that before we go into the other ones. This is a big one for me, pricing. I work with a lot of females. They undervalue themselves. They feel like they can't price right. There's that like, I don't feel comfortable about pricing. So there's that weird dichotomy of like, they're being authentic in the fact that they don't feel like they want to charge what they're worth, but they should be charging what they're worth. Sometimes it's like money mindset, and we kind of have to dig down in there. Let's just broaden this topic a little bit more because with the pricing. So can you expand on that about being authentic with pricing?
I think that being authentic with pricing is one of it is that mindset. 100%, there is a mindset issue that you're going to have to, and you have to understand that money flows. It's an energy. And I don't know how you feel about that, but it's an energy. It flows to and from, and you have to get right with that energy. You have to be able to say, I accept that this is my worth and I reject what's not my worth. And also you have to understand that there's a logistic, a realism to it. Like I feel like I'm worth this, but I have to build up to showcase that I'm worth this. So maybe part of your pricing strategy is after every third client, my pricing goes up 25%. Or maybe your thing is every quarter, my pricing goes up to an X percent until I get to the right spot. So you have to figure out where that flow is for you. Some people can't jump from 100 to 5,000. That's a big jump, but you can go 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 to 2,500. You can make smaller leaps as you need into it. When it comes to your inbound marketing, if you are given the space, if you allow yourself the space to say why you charge what you charge, all of the components that come into this on why this price is this way, your experience, and then the industry, and then how it's all going to work for you. And at the end of the day, the value that your client gets. If I charge you $1,000, I want you to have $3,000 worth of value. I want there to be an ROI on that. That's the point of that pricing conversation. It's not the $1,000, it's the investment to the payback at the end of the day. If I say, Heather, if you invest $2,000 with me monthly on inbound marketing, but I say you'll probably get about $8,000 of inquiries coming in for that $2,000, that's a good ROI at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So it's having that conversation about why your pricing is what it is and the value that your clients get at the end of it. So they don't feel like they're being gouged for that $2,000. They're seeing the possibility of what they can have if they invest.
Okay.
$2,000.
It's getting over that fear of imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff as well. So to be authentic, you need to really look at your value and then have a true representation of it in your pricing. And if you feel uncomfortable, like you said, you can inch it up as you go. Okay, so that's great. So you said like 5 pillars.
Oh, yeah.
What's the next one?
I would say another good one is problems or issues. These are all very uncomfortable for a lot of people to talk about. No lie. Nobody likes like a problem. What we also don't want to talk about is issues with our products. So why is this product maybe not the right fit for you? And what you're doing with that is one, you're weeding people out, but that builds trust because they're going into like, hey, this is a great product. It does these 80% things, but this 20%, it's not the be all end all for you. And it might not be a good fit. And so being able to talk and bring that authenticity into the problems between your product and maybe your competitors as well, and when somebody should go to your competitor and when they should come to you is a really great conversation. It sets you up as an authority because you're not lying. So that immediately puts you up at the top of the ranks, and being authentic. 2, people immediately trust you when you're truthful. Like, hey, like I work in WordPress. I love WordPress. Is it the best solution for every single person out there? Absolutely not. And you should know why. You should know when you use WordPress and when you don't use WordPress. Who Punjabi is for, who Squarespace is for, who Wix is for, who WordPress is, who Bootstrap is for. You need to know so you can make an informed decision. And what I found, and what a lot of other people find, is that people end up coming to them because they already know up front what they can't do, and they're okay with that. So talking about the issues of your solution is actually a really great authenticity way to create trust with you and your potential client.
I like this idea. People, when they come to me, oftentimes I'm like, I'm not the right fit for what you're looking for. And I find them another CPA that's their wheelhouse in whatever area that is. Maybe that person might work with me again in the future or not, but I help somebody else out and it kind of all circles around to me. Here's the thing. Make sure that you're sort of attracting the right prospects so that you do have an offer that matches that. What is some ways that we can do that with our authenticity so that we are attracting the right type of prospects rather than having to go through a lot of different prospects to find that one?
I think part of that is, again, when we talk about that personal brand kind of thing, just that connection point, right? Your personal brand is very colorful. It's happy. It's outgoing. It's go lucky. It's for creatives, people who don't like numbers. And you're like, I love numbers. And you're creative on top of it. So we have a connection point, right? And so a part of that attracting your ideal target client, sometimes, and just hear me out on this one, sometimes your ideal client is a future you. Sometimes we have to start thinking about the future you is your ideal client, because you need to elevate yourself up into your next level of client. And so a lot of times when people think about who their ideal client is, I say, look at the psychodemographics first. Find out what those people, how do they act? How do they buy? How do they make decisions? Are they quick starts? Are they researchers or whatever it happens to be? But also, who do you want to be around? Who do you want to surround yourself with? Who is going to elevate you? Those are your ideal clients. It's not somebody who's right exactly where you are. It's where you're going, and start looking for them and start writing for the future you. Literally push yourself up or lift yourself up to the next level of who you're going to be as you grow.
When you do that, it's almost like you're putting that out in the universe, like I'm at this level, and then you start attracting those people. It's like law of attraction.
Very law of attraction.
Oh, I like that. Okay. When I went to design school, one of the things they said was you always dress the part of the job that you want to be. Yeah. Like, so if you're just an assistant, you dress like vice president or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like we've moved past that because thank goodness we're allowed to like have tattoos and all these other kinds of things. But it's the inner side of you. Become who you are, like grow. Like we were talking about learning earlier. It's about growing. It's about developing in yourself and making sure your clients, you want to be around your clients. Who do you want to be around? And who's going to elevate you and support you and refer you? When it comes to your marketing and branding, that's who you want to speak to. You want to speak to your ideal client and the psychodemographic first. Then secondary is income level, all those other things that we all know, income level, female, male, location, all those other kinds of things.
If you are speaking at that level that you want to be, is there some inauthenticity of it, or are you embodying this other you and then it comes out authentic? I mean, we don't want it to just come out fake,
No. You don't want to be fake. It still has to be you, right? Okay. So it still has to be who you are. And who you are is not this outside exterior, right? We all know that the outside is not truly who we are. The Japanese have that saying, there's a saying like there's the three faces, right? There's the faces that you show public. There's the face that you show your close friends and family. And then there's your face at home. And your at home is your authentic face. That's who you are authentically. That's who you're focusing on. So when you're doing that, you're like, okay, so for me, who do I want to be? I want to be calmer. I want to have more peace. I want more space in my life. I want to be able to listen better, right? So these are key things on my end that I like to work on. So when I'm looking for people, I look for, okay, how calm is this person? They can have energy, but how centered are they with who they are? How comfortable are they with boundaries? How easy is it for them to say, no, I don't want this. Yes, I do want that. Is their word what they say? Do they take action on, right? So these are the things I'm looking for. That has nothing to do with personality or the color of somebody's hair or, whatever it happens to be. That's who they are as a person. They know what they want. And that's what you need to become, I think, a little bit deeper. And you just bring that out in your marketing, right? And you speak with authority on your pricing. You speak on authority with the pros and cons. You're speaking from authority on these topics.
I love this idea. Okay, this is really great. A couple of those and the pillars. What is the third one?
The third one is really going deeper into that comparison. So the first part is that problems, like these are the issues with our product kind of thing. The second is going to be the comparison, me versus somebody else. So for me, it'd be like WordPress versus Kajabi, which I did do a big old long blog post about, right? When do you use Kajabi and when do you use WordPress? Like, when do you make this decision? Where's that price point that you need to make? And is this a good choice for your business? So literally going in and going to your competitors and doing a real comparison, pros, cons, goods, bads, the whole, not as a pitch for you, but as a no filter nonsense kind of breakdown of the competition and their good side as well. What's really good about this is because when you do these things, you talk about competition, it works SEO in your favor because you're giving backlinks to domain authority and it works for you. Google loves these things. They love these topics. They reward you for doing these.
Okay, so we look at our competitors, and if we're looking at what makes us unique and different, like you said, it's not just the outer you, It could be whatever else that you offer. Looking at your competitors, this seems like something we did in business school, but people don't think about doing it actually in their business.
Yeah.
So you compare it, and then are we looking for weaknesses in them? Or are we looking for ways that we could service a marketplace differently than they are, or different target? What would be what we're looking for?
So that is a great question, all of it. And you can do multiple pieces. Like literally, this isn't just 5 and done. Break this up into a whole bunch of different things. Like just repeat this process for a different part of that niche. So for instance, when I talk about my comparison between WordPress and Kajabi, WordPress can do Kajabi things, Kajabi can do WordPress things. So it feels like an equal playing field. But at the end of the day, the Kajabi makes some things that is much easier for the DIYer, right? And so the pricing goes up, no lie, for Kajabi, but as a DIYer, it's pretty good fit. The second that you want to do the same things on Kajabi on WordPress, unless you're really good at it, it's not a DIY solution, right? So it comes down to, well, I want to grow. And now we're at a point of our cost break where I can invest more into this because I want more customization. And I no longer want to have this on my plate because my zone of genius is not developing websites and managing this. My zone of genius is coaching or doing finances or whatever happens to be. You want to get rid of stuff to grow. You want to be able to do your $10,000 task instead of your $100 task. You know that saying? Like,
yes.
Yes. Okay. So you don't want to keep doing the small things. So Kajabi is great if you're at specific place in your business, or you're only going to stay in a specific. Not everybody wants to be a multimillionaire. I hate to break it to you. Not everybody's like big goal is to make millions of dollars. There's a lot of people that says, I just want to steady 6 figures and this works for me. And it's a great solution. No lie, it's a great solution. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how I kind of approached it for that specific article. Mm-hmm. So it's not downplaying or belittling or saying they suck or anything like that. Not a negative. It's just like, hey, based off my 30 years of experience, this is why people move. Because they're at this point in the business, they want to grow up to $400,000 or $500,000 a year, or whatever it happens to be, and they know they're limited, and they're ready to take that next leap in their business. So they're moving over to a new platform, and they view it as an investment. Other people are like, I know I'm going to go that direction in the very beginning. I don't want to mess with it. We're going to go here, or vice versa. People go to WordPress. They're like, oh crap, I should have gone with Kajabi. I don't want to lose clients because of that. So.
It sounds like if you have an offer that is, for instance, I'm a CPA, like there's other CPAs, maybe finding something different that I can offer that would fill a void that this other one is not offering, maybe based on price point or something like that. So it's not like apples and apples. Now it's like apples and tangerines or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apples and shoes. Like it could be like completely different. It doesn't have to be even a fruit. Like a lot of times people are like, I didn't even know that was a thing I could do. You're like, yeah. Because nobody talks about it. And you could be the person that brings it up to the forefront and stuff like that. But even if it's apples to apples, the fact that you're honest about it helps with that authenticity and builds that trust. That's the point. You're building trust and being authentic with what you offer and what the industry says. And that's the point of building that trust. When you start doing these tactics, it shows inbound marketing 81% higher trust value by doing these topics than other topics. Trust goes skyrockets up by just following these 5 pillars.
Wow. Okay, so let's go on to the next one then. What's the next one?
So the very next one is best of. And the key thing, best of list, like the best website designs, the best CPAs, the best blah, 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 just whatever, the best of whatever it is. And then here's what really good. Don't include yourself in that best of list.
Oh, so you're talking about like if I do a blog post.
These are the best CPAs for people in Hawaii. Is a best of list. And this sounds really counterintuitive. So this is what I love about this one is because it goes against the grain of protecting ourselves. It really does, because we want to protect our bubble and make sure that we are the best of the best. But what happens when you do the best of the best, it immediately builds trust with you and your competitors.
Oh, okay.
And you're looking to get those referral bases back in because all tides rise. And this is about overcoming that mindset of scarcity. So if I want to do the best, like if I did the best website designers or something like that, I know people that I would pull up. I'd be like, Sarah does a great job doing websites. If you are in this area and and this is your style, so-and-so does a great websites for therapists or whatever it happens. Another person does a great website for, nonprofits and stuff like that. Right. So finding the best of lists are great. And if you want to do a best of, you want to practice this and not actually do it in your field, but a complementary field is where people usually start. So whatever, you talk about the pumpkin plan, people that are your supporters. So if we're in photography and I'm a photographer, then my supporters are going to be like wedding locations or something like that, best wedding locations or something, right? So think about the people that give you, for me, it would be like CPAs, right? So I would say, here's the best CPAs and the market, right? Because they're a good referral service for me. So, but best of lists, top 10 lists, they're fabulous. People love them because then they one, it shows that you know what you're talking about, you know the field, you know what's going on out there, and it gives you tons of SEO because you're backlinking to other authority figures. It's going to ping to their website and then it's going to ping back to you as well. And it shoots up your domain authority.
Now, you've referenced blogs and all that a few times now. So for those that are out there that have like a creative type business or they're a coach seems like they have things to blog about. If they are a creative, maybe they can, like you were talking about, maybe something that aligns with that. But would you say that blogging is one of the most important things for a website then to keep it active?
Yeah, for inbound marketing, absolutely. If you're not doing blogging, you have to do something that has content on it. You can call it articles, you can talk at new pages or whatever happens to be. It's kind of like we were talking about doing things on Facebook or Instagram. If the platform goes down, so sorry, sad note. But blogging is content you own. And you can repurpose that into newsletters. You can repurpose that into an ebook. You can repurpose that into a course. There's tons of content that you own. And SEO works on just like compound interest. The longer it's out there, the better it does. It's better to do it. Like I have people coming to me from things that I did years ago because it's had time to stay inside the marketplace and stay on Google for a long period of time. So it's better to have a blog post, don't delete them. I say never, ever, ever delete your blog. People do this. I'm like, oh my God, you lost all this SEO. Like you can archive it, but don't delete it. Like let it shine. So that is your best. That's the cheapest. No lie. It's the cheapest thing you can possibly do to help your SEO and to help your inbound marketing across the board. And you can, again, what's beautiful about it is nowadays you can have a post, like let's say you did a post in 2020 and there's been an update to some kind of IRS Cody thing, right? You can add an update and it reboosts your SEO. So you got the old going and the new at one targeted location, and that leapfrogs you up on your SEO again.
So you would actually just update that original blog page then rather than making a new one.
Yeah,
wow.
You can, or you can do both. Why not do both? Like just do both. It's then they just do link back. Like there's so many things you can do, but blogging, it's not dead. And if anything, it's just gotten boring. And so people got bored with it, but it's definitely, I highly encourage everybody to do it and just stick with the schedule once a month. If you want to, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. What do you think of this idea? Somebody told me this the other day that you could incorporate video on your blog page to keep people on the blog page longer.
I love video. I love video. I love it. Yeah. Put the video on there. That's great. Do a pictures, video, the whole kit caboodle, add it all, and then add it again. I'm good with that. I don't always have time to watch video. So I like both. There are times when I want video so I can run around, do things around the house and just have the video playing. And then there's other times where I'm multitasking. I can't listen to the video or something like that, but I'm like on the plane and I can't watch the video. So I need to read it. But I love video. Video is great, especially if you like doing video. So just add videos. Or you can do B-roll. We have actors come in and do a 3-minute spiel about the blog post in video form for them.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You don't even have to do it. You can literally hire another company to take care of that for you.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
But the blog page, should the title of the article be in the blog page URL?
Yes. As a matter of fact, your keyword, you want your keywords to be in that blog title. I'm a big fan of long tail keywords. You really want your keywords in that blog title. And I love who, how, when, where, what, why, top 10 titles, right? And you basically think of your title as how people are searching online. At the end of the day, how do I? What is the cost of? How much does this cost? Why should I get this? What's the difference between blah and blah? The name of your title should also be your keyword as well. So it's called a long tail keyword. How do I blah, 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 blah is your long tail keyword. Yeah, absolutely. Like make the title, your URL, that title. It's almost like a non-negotiable at this point.
Wow. Okay. So now I think we're on to number 5. So what is number 5?
Okay. Reviews. Review products that you utilize. Like if I was going to do it, like I might review ClickUp because I use ClickUp a lot. So I would do a blog post about ClickUp. I would do reviews about ClickUp. Or if a client was coming to me and they said, well, should I use Vimeo or YouTube? I could do a review, pros and cons of these two things, why I like this one versus that one. How many times do you search, what should I choose? Right? How many times do you go look for like this versus that, this versus that, this versus that? They're fabulous. And again, it's an authority figure. You're saying that you are the authority on this topic is you can give these reviews, these pro cons, and make it long, do 2,500 words, like really go deep into this review. And those are great authority figures and authenticity figures as well. Being able to look at those numbers, look at the review and saying like, man, this person really knows. They know how the pricing works. They know who the competitors are. They have it nailed down about what sub products we should add. Should I add WooCommerce or should I do Squarespace or something like that? Being able to show that you have knowledge in this area and multiple areas within your niche definitely increases your authority and definitely gives you an authenticity that's not about you. It's about them and helping them create the best product or service or whatever it is that you're helping them with.
This is a great idea. Let's just say, for instance, like I use different types of accounting software or I use different types of payroll software. So it could be like something that I'm using, like comparison, like QuickBooks versus Wave or something like that. But I wouldn't be necessarily doing an article about like riding the bus versus taking your bike to work kind of thing. Like
unless that's part of your business. No.
Okay. Okay. So we want to stay within the wheelhouse of what we're talking about.
Yes, exactly. You still have to be within what you do, right?
Okay.
Still stay within. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Still stay within what you do. But I would love an article like that because at the end of the day, I don't care because if I'm hiring you, I don't really give a rat's bloody whatever it is that you just tell me. But I like the fact that you know, because that makes me feel like I can trust you better because you've put thought into saying, hey, this, and this. This is what I kind of prefer, but it's okay to do X, Y, Z if you're in this silo. And then at the end of the day, guess what? I don't care. I'm still hiring you. But it gives me a level of trust because you obviously know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about money or numbers or whatever. So I'm going to go trust Heather, right? Because she obviously knows something. And it's the same psychology of when people go, they sign up for the freebie, they download the freebie and they feel like they've done something, but they never bloody to open up the freebie, right? You know that phenomenon? It's the same psychology of these. It's the same thing. I feel good and I feel like I did something. I feel like I trust the person that I got the freebie from. I didn't take any action whatsoever. I have done so many trainings, blog posts, articles, ebooks about how to design a website. And nobody's ever come to me and said, that was the best article in the world. I went and did it. Every single time people are like, I don't want to do this. You do this. I literally lay it all out there for them.
So I could even have an article about how to keep your books and they'll be like, nah, I'd rather you just do them for me.
Because people want to know that you're not hiding something from us. That's
Gotcha.
what we're looking for. You're not being secretive about anything. You're being real and authentic and open and honest.
Yeah, and it has that sort of abundance kind of mindset as well. So you're not being stingy with your knowledge.
Yes.
You touched on the whole downloadable thing. We all have to have these downloadable PDFs so that people will give us their email address. So what are your suggestions? What do you think about those? I mean, are they so like overdone, checklists and all those? But what is the ones that you recommend people even do?
I love them. And yes, they're overdone. Don't care. I still love them. It's just like the buy now button works for a reason. It works for a reason. I do it. As a matter of fact, my downloadable is literally a PDF on how to design your website because I'm like, here you go. Here's your 10 steps. Buy a website to convert. Here it is. Freebie for you. That's my freebie downloadable. And so I like them. People like them. I don't think they've been played out. I do, however, think that you should utilize, if you are doing it, utilize it into a medium where you can continue that conversation with your target client. So I'm going to give you an example for me. And this doesn't mean that's for everybody. A lot of people talk about email lists, right? Grow your email list, grow your email list, grow your email list, right? I hate email. I don't want to email people. I don't want to be emailed. I don't like email, right? And so for me, it was a huge struggle because I knew as a marketer and as somebody says, own your content, I needed the email list, but I hated my emails. So what did I do? I went to text message marketing. So my freebie is through text messaging. I would rather text somebody. I would rather send them a gift. I would rather send them a link through text messaging any day of the week. We have a company line for marketing, for text messaging that my whole staff has access to. And that's what we switched over. We switched from email marketing to text messaging. It works better for our business. So my thing is making sure what those downloadables are work with how you work, right? If you don't like email marketing, then maybe you need to find a different solution for that freebie download. And then for the emails, now they just go on LinkedIn. So now they're just on my emails that went out weekly. Guess what? Now they're going on LinkedIn. You want to read them? You go to LinkedIn.
Wow. So I like this idea of the text messaging. I was thinking about doing something like this. In some ways, it feels a little bit impersonal, but I mean, when you send a newsletter out to everybody, it's kind of impersonal anyways. Sometimes it seems less intrusive getting a text message than like a long email. It's like, oh, I don't want to read that. So do you find people that just sort of delete it or they want to be unsubscribed or what's the negative side of that?
So I think the negative side is knowing how often to text people and keeping to your pattern. So I've made mistakes where I've texted too often. So being able to say like, okay, we're only going to text on specific days, like Tuesdays and Fridays or whatever it happens to be, to understand where that's coming from. And so not bombarding people with text is really, really, really important. And letting them know on the heads up, like if you join my text messaging, like because I have like, you send hashtag pie to my number and it automatically puts you, you're in my contact list, but you're just in you get my cell phone number. I get, yours and we can text back and forth, but understanding that this is not just for casual conversations. Like there's going to be marketing pieces that come out on this, but you are also going to be the first people that I tap saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this product. Do you guys want in on it before I launch? It also is going to be the place like, hey, my God, like I'm going to send a picture of the sunset because it's beautiful, or my cat who's high on catnip. Like, it's part of that personal brand portion. I can personally do branding on text messaging way better than email, any day, shape, or form. I can be more me, more authentically me on text messaging. I can't be too much more authentically me. I can't spam people 14 times a day on text message. So understanding the medium is important.
Wow. And do you have any kind of platform that you recommend to do that?
There are so many platforms out there. I looked at a lot of them. It was like Superphone and like so many others. I ended up going to Community. So I love Community. I use Community. They're my favorite. It's because they don't nickel and dime me. I can't handle like, oh, it's 3 cents this way and 2 cents that way. I don't. Yeah. It's too many cents. I can't manage that. I'd rather have a flat fee and then features with each one of those flat fees. So I love community. It's what all the pop stars are using and all
really?
the other Mel Robbins and all those other kinds of things. And the back end of it is fabulous. Like it really is super, super easy to utilize and work with. They've really done a great job on the UI, the UX and implementation. And I love it. So that's what I use. But I know a couple other people that use Superphone and they love it as well because it's more cost affordable when you're just starting out.
Okay. Yeah.
By pennies, right?
Yeah, because some of them I looked at and it was just like, yeah, like you were saying, it's like it's 5 cents this way and then this way. And I'm like, oh my God. So it just seemed like just too much to deal with.
But then at the end of the day, if I pay $100 a month, I don't want that 5 cents. But if I only had like 15 people on my list, maybe 5 cents is worth it because then I'm only paying like $5 a month. That's a huge difference in costs. Yeah. So you have to be aware.
Awesome. Well, so I could talk to you all day about this kind of stuff. So we're talking about being authentic. We're not like putting our face in everything. I guess that could be part of the brand, but we need to like really talk about who we are serving and what we can do for them and give them value.
I would definitely say value is really important and building trust. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to build trust, right? We talk about that a lot. And how do we build trust is by being honest. And how do we be honest is by creating content that's honestly presented. And it's not fluffed up with what we think or what, like, oh, it's all about me or it's all about my great product. It's being authentic with that content. It's being authentic with what you bring to the table and humble and servant attitude and being real at the end of the day and not being showy for the sake of showy, but being who you are as you are and welcoming people into your sphere.
Very
just
cool.
Open and honest. Literally, it's dumbassery. Just being open and honest at the end of the day. Yeah.
If you're not a good writer, you're not, maybe you're too busy to write all these blog posts. Do you recommend just finding a copywriter that can get your voice, or what would you do for that?
That's what we do. I'm not a writer. I have writers on staff. I'm never going to write anything. I thought I'd be a trashy romance novelist, but that never, ever happened because apparently I can't write worth bumpkus, right? And so I do the core, then my writers refine everything. Yeah, hire out. And I'm a big believer in the first thing you need to do is outsource. Like if you want to grow, you've got to get rid of those $5, $10, $100 tasks. Like that is the way you grow, right? At the end of the day is not doing everything yourself. So when you're at that point, definitely hire like writers. And for us, like we specialize, our writing is there's different types of writing, right? So there's conversion copywriting, there's story brand writing, there's sales copywriting, there is SEO style of writing. There's massive amounts of different writing. There's micro targeted writing, right? So micro writers, right? So they literally just write the conversion copy for like buttons and navigation. So there's literally an entire writing people who do writing only for that specific type of thing. It's called micro writers, growing business. So there's so many different writers. What we focus on is story brand and SEO. And then third, conversion for our clients that do long sales pages and stuff like that. But SEO and story brand around the inbound marketing framework. Because if we're going to write something, we want it to be SEO on target. Like, why waste the time if you're not going to make it SEO? And then story brand is 100% about being real and authentic. And inbound marketing is all about being honest and open. So we focus on that. And that's what we write our content for our clients. And we find, especially like I have different types of writers. So I know when I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, oh, this is your personality. I know somebody that identifies with that personality. We're going to have them do your content writing for you. Not every writer goes to every single one of our clients. So it is important to find somebody that can speak to who you are and that you trust. Absolutely.
Okay, this is good to know. You don't feel the pressure that you have to do all these blog posts for yourself. Mm-hmm. You can hire this out. I do want to ask you about story brand because I've read Donald Miller's books and I love this whole idea of the guide and the hero. And for those people that aren't aware of this, can you just kind of tell them in a nutshell what that is and how we can use our authenticity within that?
Anybody who has really good with design and really good at marketing knew this before there was ever a term for it. Like this is just straight out, like people who know their crap know how to do this before the term ever came out. And at the end of the day, the story brand is about the client. It is about the client. It is not about you. Your only thing in this whole process is called the guide, right? And he kind of does it like a Star Wars thing where you are not Luke. You're not Luke. You're Yoda. You're the guide. You're the person that's been there, done that, and you are the person that's counseling and coaching the other person, right? And we get so caught up doing our websites and we get so caught up doing our marketing, talking about ourselves. And that is not how this works. And so your job in the story brand is to identify what their actual problem is, who the external problem is, the internal problem is, who's the bad guy, in their story, like who's like stopping them from growing. And then what do they get on the internal, on the psychological side? What big wins do they get, right? So if you're buying like a Tesla car, the external is like, I own a Tesla car. It's very pretty and buttony, right? And the internal is kind of like, I've made it. Like, oh, I made it, right? But the other side of that is, okay, so we're green. So I'm a green. Like that's something that's a part of my value system. I want to be green or something. So, and the person stopping you from buying a Tesla is going to be, your Aunt Sue who says that you should always buy a Ford. I don't know, whatever happens to be. So you kind of have to figure out what the problem is. And then you're going to guide them through an emotional and authority. So you're going to have empathy for them. So you understand where they're coming from. And you're going to be an authority figure that helps them have faith in themselves that they can take action to do the next step. You are not taking the action. They are taking the action and you are guiding them through. That's story brand. And the most simplistic nutshell I could possibly kind of figure out.
That was really great. I was wondering how you're going to define that in such a quick amount of time, but you did it.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you work with your clients to do this as well, right?
We do stuff like this. This is what any designer knows. You do this first on the website and you do this next on the website and you talk about the pain point and then you talk about what's missing. This is just a marketing template. Like the story brand is a marketing phrase, but everybody, like, no lie, I know lots of great designers that do this and they never have the thing with the story brand at all. It's simplicity, authenticity, empathy, and then really doing calls to action, take action, do things, and what's in it for them. If they take the action and what they're going to lose if they don't take the action. That's it at the end of the day. And we just walk through what the point is when you're working with the client, you have to work with them so they understand. They have to wrap their heads around like, oh, it's not about me. Because I get it a lot. I want it, like for me, if I went and talked about my story about how Easy as Pie came into being, that's all you need to know. Ice cream, wine, that tells them like who I am, middle of the night, easy as pie, we're done, right? You don't need to know 14 years of like work up into this and all these other things.
Yeah.
Right? You just need to know that I like sweet things and wine. That's it. So
that's so funny. All right. So people can work with you that way. Tell us what other services that you provide and how people can get a hold of you.
Well, we're a website design firm. So that's literally where we start. Full service website design firm. If you go to my website, Easy as Pie Design, literally on the front page, it says, if your business is bringing in this much income, this is the right product plan for you. If you're bringing this much income, then this is the direction that you go. And if you're bringing this much income, this is the direction you go. So we're a full service website design and marketing firm, which means we handle the whole gamut, right? So I have staff, we have like 20 people or so. So we handle the whole gamut. But a lot of times people think that, oh, you're too expensive, or I don't know. I'm literally like, we have one side of the business called My Slice of Pie that is for the smaller businesses that are starting out, but they know they're going to grow. And so we have curated story brand designs on there and curated inbound marketing templates on there and stuff like that they can utilize all the way up to the gamut to the companies that are making $100,000 a month, right? So there's this huge gamut. To get in touch with me, easyspiedesign.com, literally just schedule a call. It's really easy. I think I sent you my phone number. I hope it'll be in the show notes, but you can just send hashtag PIE pie to me, to my cell phone number. I'm going to say it. So it'll be in the transcript. So it's 425-403-7559. Just hashtag pie to me, and then you'll get that PDF. And then that's a great way to contact me either as well. Like I said, don't email me. Just send me a text message. Like
that's very cool. Yeah, I don't usually give out people's phone numbers, but in this case, I will.
Yeah,
awesome.
Phone number. Yeah, yay.
Well, thank you so much. This has been really fun. I love picking your brain.
Oh, Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me on, Heather. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.